Hello and welcome. This video is about the problem of source localization. Now to get a very generalized idea of the problem of source localization or source tracking, one can think of a very simple example that suppose we have a ship that is traveling in the ocean which can be understood as this 2D surface over here, and this ship has a transmitter, a radio transmitter, which is emitting radio wave pulses at some periodic intervals. And also we have placed some receivers throughout this 2D surface as shown here. So suppose this is my first receiver, this is my second receiver, and so on and so forth. Suppose I have placed n such receivers. So this is my nth receiver. So now the radio pulse that is transmitted by this ship will arrive each of these receivers at some particular times. Suppose this is the radio pulse arrives first receiver at T1, the second at T2, and so on. The nth receiver receives that radio pulse at the time Tn. And now as the ship moves in this 2D surface, suppose it now reaches this position and emits another pulse over here. And this pulse will again reach all of these receivers over here. And now suppose we will get some different time, T1 dash, T2 dash, and so on till Tn dash. Now our job is to identify this location, this current location of the ship. Suppose this is x0, y0. Using these values, T1 dash, T2 dash, and so on till Tn dash. Using this value, our job is to calculate this x0, y0. Similarly, using T1 till Tn, one can try to estimate the first position here. Suppose we can call it x1, y1. So this is in a generalized sense the problem of source localization. Now getting into the specifics of this problem, we will actually deal with a rather simpler case of this problem, which is also oftentimes referred as the problem of source tracking. So the main difference here is that we are not trying to continuously monitor the location of our object or the ship as we saw in the previous example. Rather, what we are trying to see is, suppose we know that the original position of the ship was x0, y0. My aim is now to estimate the next position of the ship. Now suppose the ship now moves to xn, yn. And so it had emitted a pulse over here, and it also emits another pulse when it is at this position. So I already know this x0 and y0 value. My aim now is to calculate or estimate this xn and yn. So how do we go about solving this problem? One can think of this problem in the following manner. This object we are trying to track was x0, y0. And then suppose it had moved to some new position given by xn or x new and yn or y new. And suppose this x0 and y0 stands for x old and y old. We can divide this movement into two components and say that suppose it has moved delta x in the x direction and then delta y in the y direction. And as I was explaining in the example we saw earlier, there are multiple receivers that are scattered across this 2D plane. So suppose this is the first receiver, then this is the second receiver, and so on and so forth. This is the nth receiver. Now consider a particular receiver, suppose the ith receiver, which is located at the position xi, yl, which we know because we are the one who have placed these receivers. Now suppose this line segment that joins this xi, yl to the old position x0, y0. As we know all these values x0, y0, xi, yl, we also know the length of this line segment, which will be given by r0. And also we will know this angle, which I am calling here theta I. And maybe I should call this actually r0 I, because it will be different for all of the ith receivers. So we will have the knowledge of this theta I and r0 I for all belonging to this set 1, 2 till n. Now the next thing we observe is that for any particular Ri for which the source is located at this point x, y, and the antenna, the ith antenna is at xi, yl. We can write this Ri as follows: under root xi minus x whole square plus yi minus y whole square. Now if you see the del Ri divided by and one can also see that the derivative or the partial derivative of this Ri with respect to x will be given as follows: del Ri by del x is given by 1 by 2 under root xi minus x whole square plus yi minus y whole square, and in the numerator we will have twice xi minus x times minus 1. So this essentially becomes x minus xi divided by ri. Similarly, one can easily check that del ri by del y becomes y minus yi divided by ri. And now, previously, as I have defined theta I in this manner, I am highlighting it again. One can check that actually this del ri by del x is nothing but cos theta I, and del ri by del y is actually sin theta I. So given we have the knowledge of this del ri by del x and del ri by del y, one can easily write a relation between the line segment length for the new location from the ith receiver and the line segment length for the old location with respect to the ith receiver as follows. This Rn I will be given as Roi plus del R by del x times delta x plus del R by del y times del y. Now this is kind of a first order approximation, and surely there will be higher order terms here, but as a first approximation this can be taken, and this will be more and more accurate if we are emitting the radio pulse at a very short intervals of time. So like if we move a very small distance and we emit this radio pulse, then we again move a very short distance and again emit this radio pulse, and then again move a very short distance and again emit this radio pulse. This first order approximation is valid. But suppose someone is moving a long distance and then emitting radio pulse and then moving another long distance and then emitting another radio pulse, then this approximation might not be that valid. Now again, given this relation Rni equals to Roi plus del R by del x and delta x plus del R by del y and delta y, we can easily replace these by cos theta I and this by sin theta I. So now we will have Rni equals to Roi plus cos theta I del x plus sin theta I del y, and this should be valid for all I equals to 1, 2, 3 till n. That is, it should be valid for all of the nth antennas. And just one typo over here. Maybe I can change this to Rn, a small n. So the small n stands for the new, and the small o stands for old, and this capital N is actually total number of antennas we have, and this I is the index, the antenna index. So, doing a quick revision of the problem statement, what we had is we knew this x0 and y0 for the nominal location or the old location of our object, and then it moves to a new location xn, yn, which we want to estimate this xn and yn, which is as good as estimating this delta x and delta y. And we had our ith receiver over here, placed at the position xi, yi, and the length of the line segment joining this xi, yi and x0, y0 was Roi. And this new position where it went, this is given as Rni. And when the object is at this location xn, yn, it emits a pulse, a radio pulse at some time, suppose t dash, which we don't know because we don't have a synchronized clock between the object and the receivers. This radio wave that was emitted will now be received by all of these antennas that is scattered throughout this 2D plane at different times. Suppose this ith antenna receives it at ti. Suppose this is the nth antenna, it will receive it at time tn. Suppose this is the n-1th antenna, it will receive it at time tn-1. And we are assuming here that we have a synchronized clock between all of these receivers, hence we are able to write this t1, t2 and so on till tn with respect to some synchronized clock. Now, given this info, one can easily understand that this Rni is actually C times Ti minus T dash. So, Ti is basically the time at which the signal is received at the ith receiver. T dash is the time at which it was emitted from the source or the object. So this Ti minus T dash is the kind of delta T for the time it took for the EM wave to travel from the object to the receiver, for the ith receiver. And the C here denotes the speed of that EM wave in the space we are dealing with. And hence the speed times speed multiplied with this time gives us the distance r and I. So if we know this relation, we can easily now write the following. Ti minus T dash equals to Rho1 by C plus cos theta I by C del x plus sin theta I by C del y. So what we basically did is we replaced this R and I by this Ti. So now what we see is we already know this cos theta, we already know this sin theta, we already know this Roi for all I equals to 1 to till n. What we don't know is this T dash, del x and del y. And also we are measuring this Ti, so we also know that. So basically one can see that this we don't know these three things. Now if this was the problem, we would have actually required at least three antennas to successfully determine this del x, del y and T dash. And then we would just take our information from this del x and del y and that would have solved the problem. Hence we would have only required this I equals to 1, 2 and 3, or at least 3. But there is a catch, and it is as follows.